Something unexpected happened with Graeme Swann, and for a long time, no one fully understood the real reason behind it. At first, it appeared that he was simply another spin bowler in England's lineup, reliable but unremarkable. But slowly, subtle signs began to reveal something far deeper. This is not just another story about a cricketer. It is the story of a man who redefined how spin could be used in modern Test cricket, and why his influence would change the game forever. Swann did not rely on raw speed or dramatic flair. His impact came through precision, strategy, and an uncanny ability to read batsmen. He arrived quietly, played intelligently, and slowly turned matches in England's favor. Every detail of his approach mattered, from flight and angle to subtle changes in pace. What you are about to hear explains why Graeme Swann became more than just a spinner. It explains why he became the cornerstone of England's modern spin revolution. To understand Graeme Swann's influence, we must begin with the cricketer himself. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Swann did not rely on natural flair or raw talent alone. He entered professional cricket in a world dominated by fast bowlers and aggressive batting. Spin, particularly in England, was often considered secondary, useful, but rarely decisive. Swann approached the challenge differently. From the beginning, he treated spin bowling as a discipline that required not only technical skill, but also strategy, analysis, and mental acuity. Swann's preparation was meticulous. He studied batsmen for patterns, weaknesses, and tendencies. He experimented with flight, drift, and trajectory, learning how small adjustments could produce outsized results. While others relied on instinct, Swann relied on calculated control. This mindset separated him immediately from his peers. What truly distinguished Swann was his understanding of context. He knew when to attack aggressively, when to contain, and when to exploit pressure. Matches were no longer a sequence of isolated overs. Each delivery became part of a larger psychological and tactical battle. His presence forced batsmen to reconsider their approach, often leading to mistakes even before the ball reached them. As his skills developed, so did his reputation. Teammates looked to him not only for wickets, but for guidance in controlling key moments of the game. Opponents prepared specifically for him, recognizing his impact extended beyond the scoreboard. Each match underlined his unique contribution, subtle, intelligent, and game-changing. Swann's approach quietly elevated the role of spin within English cricket. By combining analysis, skill, and strategy, he transformed expectations. He became a symbol of England's modern spin revolution, not because of flamboyance, but because of control, intellect, and consistency. His influence extended beyond personal performance, shaping how teams approached bowling and strategy. As Graeme Swann's career progressed, observers began to notice that his impact was far greater than initially imagined. Teammates, opponents, and analysts all struggled to comprehend the source of his dominance. On the surface, Swann appeared to be a clever spinner, but his consistency, timing, and match control suggested something far more profound. People tried to rationalize it using conventional explanations, yet none seemed sufficient. Some argued that his success came from natural ability or physical advantage. Others suggested that he benefited from supportive teammates or weaker opposition. Critics assumed that his performances would decline once conditions became challenging. Every one of these explanations fell short. Swann succeeded against top international batsmen in difficult conditions and on pitches traditionally considered unfavorable to spin. Coaches and analysts attempted to isolate patterns that might explain his influence. They studied his grip, his action, his angles, and his trajectory. They measured his flight, drift, and pace variations, yet the more data they collected, the less it fully explained. Swann was more than technique. He combined skill with strategy, psychology, and game awareness in a manner that seemed almost invisible. Opposition captains tried tactical innovations to counter him. Field placements were adjusted, bowling plans altered, and pressure tactics deployed, yet Swann adapted. sometimes within the same over, subtly adjusting to exploit weaknesses in response to the adjustments. The attempts to contain him only highlighted his intelligence and strategic foresight. Even commentators and journalists struggled to categorize him. Spin bowling in England had historically been considered a supporting role, secondary to pace attacks. Swann challenged this assumption, demonstrating that a spinner could not only dominate matches, but also dictate momentum and control outcomes. The game itself seemed unsure how to process his contributions. Ultimately, what emerged from these attempts to understand him was a realization nothing was wrong with Swann. The real challenge was perspective. Cricket, conditioned by centuries of tradition and expectation, had not yet evolved to recognize the modern, intelligent spinner as a match-defining force. Swann was not just executing deliveries, he was teaching the game to see spin differently, shaping strategy, outcomes, and even perception itself. The first clear clue that Graeme Swann was transforming England's approach to spin did not come from statistics alone, but from observation. Slowly, teammates and opponents began to notice patterns in his preparation and execution that were unlike anything they had encountered before. What had initially seemed like isolated brilliance now revealed itself as deliberate mastery. Players began to imitate aspects of his style, attempting to replicate the precision, variation, and tactical awareness that made him so effective. Swann's meticulous attention to detail became evident during match situations. Batsmen who once relied on instinct and experience found themselves trapped by subtle changes in pace, flight, and trajectory. His deliveries were not random. They were carefully orchestrated sequences designed to create doubt and force errors. Even minor adjustments in the field, planned to complement his bowling, amplified his effectiveness. Observers realized that Swann was no ordinary spinner. He was a strategist, orchestrating games with intelligence rather than mere skill. Selectors, coaches, and analysts began to notice that Swann's influence extended beyond personal performance. Matches began to be shaped by his presence, forcing captains to rethink field placements, bowling partnerships, and batting strategies. The first clue emerged as the realization that his impact could not be explained solely by conventional measures. Swann's bowling demanded adaptation, and failure to respond often led to defeat. The transformation was subtle but profound. Where spin had once been a supporting component of England's attack, Swann demonstrated that it could be a central pillar of victory. Teams began to recognize that disciplined, intelligent spin was not optional, it was essential. This marked the first visible sign that England's approach to spin bowling was being permanently altered. By observing how opponents and teammates reacted, it became evident that Graeme Swann's role extended beyond wickets. He was reshaping the mental and tactical landscape of cricket. The first clue revealed a deeper truth. Swann was not simply performing skillfully, he was pioneering a new era of spin bowling, influencing the strategy, psychology, and outcome of matches at the highest level. The full truth about Graeme Swann became undeniable as his career progressed. What initially appeared to be individual excellence gradually revealed itself as a systemic influence on English cricket. Swann was not just a successful spinner, he was a transformative figure whose approach reshaped how spin bowling was understood, valued, and executed. The big reveal lay in recognizing that his impact extended far beyond personal performance. He was changing the game itself. Swann's revolution was subtle. He did not demand attention or insist on reform. Instead, his intelligence, precision, and strategic foresight created results that forced adaptation. Captains, teammates, and opponents alike were compelled to reconsider tactics, preparation, and mindset. The traditional role of spin as a secondary, supportive component of the attack was replaced by a recognition of its strategic strategic centrality. Spin could control matches, dictate momentum, and unsettle even the most experienced batsmen. Analysts studying his career noted how consistently he adapted to conditions, batsmen, and pressure. His variations in flight, angle, and pace were never random. They were calculated choices designed to provoke mistakes. Field placements complemented his strategy, ensuring maximum effectiveness. Over time, this pattern became clear. Swann was not simply performing, he was teaching the game to think differently, to respect spin as a decisive weapon, and to integrate it into broader match strategy. The revelation extended beyond his technical mastery. Swann's mental approach, reading batsmen, anticipating responses, and adjusting tactics, demonstrated a level of strategic acumen uncommon in modern cricket. The big reveal was that his career was not a collection of moments, but a blueprint for a modern spin revolution. Graeme Swann's story delivers a powerful lesson about preparation, intelligence, and the impact of subtle mastery. Success in cricket, as his career demonstrates, is rarely the result of raw talent alone. It is shaped by discipline, strategic thinking, and the ability to influence the game through careful planning and execution. Swann's approach shows that excellence extends beyond physical skill. It resides in mental acuity, anticipation, and the willingness to innovate within a team structure. His influence transformed the role of spin bowling in England. Where spinners were once seen as secondary contributors, Swann made spin a central weapon capable of shifting momentum and dictating outcomes. His methods inspired teammates, challenged opponents, and set a new standard for modern cricket. The ultimate lesson is that change often comes quietly. By consistently applying skill, strategy, and intelligence, one individual can reshape expectations, redefine roles, and leave a lasting mark on an entire discipline. Graeme Swann did not just take wickets, he revolutionized the way spin bowling is perceived and executed, ensuring his legacy as England's modern spin pioneer.